today I'm going to be making a recipe for you called Mojito Mist Chocolates. Now I got the inspiration for this recipe from another one of my hobbies, which is collecting antique cookbooks. I have this one that is my great-grandmother's notebook that she wrote all her favorite recipes into in her handwriting, and I absolutely love that. This one, which is a 1937 publication, and one of the things I loved about this one is that it had some newspaper clippings in it where they clipped out recipes that had, on the back of them, they had things about World War II, which was really interesting. But this one is the one that's my favorite. This is a 1911 publication, and it talks about making candy. And one of the things it says that is, when any considerable amount of candy is made, the best materials will not cost over 15 cents a pound. And prices ranging from 50 cents to $1 a pound are the rule for the high-grade domestic article. Wow, have times changed. And the other thing that made me laugh was that it says, candy making should be taught and acquired as one of the most useful of womanly accomplishments. Like every other art that calls for skill and intelligence, it has an educational value, and the universal fondness for sweets renders the candy maker a popular favorite. I hope that's true, and I hope you enjoy this recipe as much as I do. To make these Mojito chocolates, the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and get started on my filling. So I've got 8 ounces of Philadelphia cream cheese. Definitely want the plain cream cheese for this one. And I'm going to put in also a stick of butter, a half a cup of butter. Unsalted is best. And I'm just going to mix that together until it's nice and smooth. Okay, once that's all creamed together, I'm just going to go ahead and add 2 tablespoons of lime juice. And I'm going to zest a lime. Get all the zest from 1 lime. And I'll put that in there as well. And I'm going to add a 1/4 of a cup of Mojito mix. Now, Mojito mix, you can get it in your grocery store over near the club soda and things. It's non-alcoholic. It's just a Mojito mixer. It's got some of the flavors already in there. Now, we're bumping up the flavors by adding the lime and the mint extract and so on, but this helps kind of make it a little bit more cohesive. You only need about a 1/4 of a cup. I'll mix that in there. Alright, I'm going to go ahead and get those combining. Once that's fairly well mixed, I'm going to go ahead and add in my flavorings. I have mint extract and pure mint extract and imitation rum extract. I'm only going to use a 1/4 teaspoon of each. So put those in there. Here's my mint. Oops, I haven't opened this one yet. Okay. And my rum extract. And then I'm going to add some powdered sugar. You're going to want to use about 3 cups. Start out with about 1.5 cups and get that all well incorporated, and then mix in the remaining to taste. You can make it a little sweeter or less sweet as you like. And once I get all this combined, then we will come back and I will talk to you about putting the truffles together and your chocolate and your candy molds. So as soon as I get this all together, we'll be right back. Okay, to make the truffles, to actually form them and put them in the chocolate, you are going to want to use just a candy mold. Now, they look like this. You can find them at your local craft store, Michael's, Hobby Lobby, etc. I love them. They work great for these truffles. So I'm going to use the actual truffle-shaped candy mold. Sometimes they come in shapes of flowers. I've got some rose ones, so on and so forth. But I'm going to set those down on a flat surface. Now, I've already melted some just semi-sweet chocolate chips. I put them in a frosting bag, and melted them in the microwave in a cup of water. I'm just going to cut the tip off of there. I'm going to pipe them to be about 1/3 to 2/3 full. Then I'm going to use a baby spoon and just kind of spread it right up the sides so that I have a nice hollow in there. Just like that. It's okay if there's a little bit extra. It's no big deal. We will deal with that later. Just going to get that spread up the sides. And I'm going to go ahead and finish with the rest of these, and then I will show you the next step. So you can see I've got all of my chocolate centers in the mold filled. Now all I'm going to do is I'm going to pop these in the freezer. Make sure that you keep them level. You're going to pop them in the freezer and you're going to let them sit there for a minute and a half. Then you'll bring them back out and you'll fill them with the Mojito mixture, and then you'll top them with more chocolate. But I'll show you that as soon as I pull these out of the freezer. Okay, I have pulled my chocolate in my cups out of the freezer. Sometimes when you've let them sit in there, the chocolate will shrink. You'll notice holes, whatever. Just fill them with a little bit more chocolate and you're good to go. I put my filling in just a Ziploc bag. I'm just going to trim the edge off the bottom. Then I'm going to go ahead and fill them up. You want to just about fill it. You don't quite want to get all the way to the top because you want to have some room for your chocolate. And you want to make sure that you have a hole big enough for all your Mojito filling to come out, because sometimes that lime zest will create a problem. And every once in a while you'll get a chunk of cream cheese. You can just pinch it right out. Of course, if you have to pinch it out, then you get to lick your fingers, and that's pretty yummy too. Alright, so we're just going to finish filling the rest of these. It's really awesome if you can have 2 of the candy trays, because then you can go ahead and switch them out. You can fill the one with the chocolate, put it in, let it freeze, then fill the other one with chocolate, then switch them around, fill the one, top it, and then, switch them around. So it works out really well if you have 2. If you only have 1, that's okay. It just takes you a little bit longer to get done. So I'm going to finish filling these, and then I will show you how to top them with chocolate and finish them off. Okay, I have got my Mojito filling in my chocolates, and now I'm just going to take my chocolate and pipe it right over the top, just to go ahead and fill in basically the bottoms of my chocolates. You want to make sure it goes from edge to edge. You don't want to have any gaps or your filling will leak out. Now, the recipe for this filling makes a lot of chocolates, but you can make as many or as few as you want, depending on how much time you have. You can refrigerate the filling for quite a while until you're ready to use it again. If you don't want to use it in the chocolates after you've made a few, you can use it in the middle of a white cake, as in a layer cake, and it's absolutely fantastic that way too. So I'm just going to finish these up and put them back in the freezer for probably 5 to 10 minutes, and then they will be ready, and they should just pop right out of these molds, and I will show you that when I come back. Okay, I have pulled my filled chocolates out of the freezer now, and I'm just going to turn the thing over, and every once in a while they'll just pop right out, but most of the time you have to kind of give them a little bit of a helping push here. You'll know when they're ready to come out because they start to pull away from the sides, and they'll pop right out. If they're not coming out, just pop them back in the freezer for another couple minutes until they are ready. Alright, and however many chocolates you make depends a lot on your mold and some things like that, but then they're ready to eat as soon as you are, and keep them stored in the refrigerator. You can freeze them. You can make the whole batch and freeze them. They freeze just fine. And enjoy.